the queen of the magical mirror. In a distant land where legends breathe and forests hide untold secrets, begins a tale like no other. A story of noble love turned into deadly greed, and a mirror that reflects not faces, but fate. What if your deepest wish came at a price too high to bear? In a peaceful kingdom, there once lived a kind queen who ruled with wisdom and justice. Her people loved her for her generosity and humble heart. One day, during a visit to a neighboring village, she noticed a handsome young farmer working the land with great dedication. Captivated by his charm and simplicity, the queen began visiting him in secret. Soon, love blossomed between them, and they married. They had a beautiful daughter named Liza, and the farmer was crowned king. From the humble soil, he rose to live in a palace surrounded by servants and glory. But over time, that glory corrupted his heart. He grew arrogant, forgetting the simplicity of his past and the people he once belonged to. One day, while out hunting in the forest, he heard a strange voice calling to him. Following the sound, he came upon a massive mirror hidden beneath the roots of an ancient tree. He asked, "Who are you?" A mysterious feminine voice replied, "I am the past and the future. If you wish to see your destiny, look closely." The king gazed into the mirror, and to his horror, he saw himself as an old beggar, frail and forgotten. Terrified, he shouted, "What is this? Do you know who I am? I am the king. The entire kingdom is mine." The mirror laughed coldly and said, "I know exactly who you are, but all that you now possess will vanish when Liza turns 2. She will take everything from you." Panic seized the king. "What must I do?" he asked. The mirror responded, "On her 2nd birthday, bring her to me, and I will make your dominion eternal." Troubled, the king returned to the palace. He began noticing the queen's deep affection for Liza, how tenderly she cared for the child. His jealousy grew. He convinced himself the queen no longer loved him as before. When Liza's 2nd birthday came, the queen held a grand celebration in her honor and gifted her a delicate golden necklace engraved with royal symbols. That night, as everyone slept, the king stole into Liza's room, kidnapped her, and rode swiftly into the forest. Standing before the mirror, he called it forth. The mirror smiled and said, "Well done. Don't worry, I will not kill her. You may leave. The kingdom will soon be yours alone." The king, driven by greed and envy, returned to the palace. The next morning, the queen woke screaming, "Where is Liza?" She searched the entire kingdom, hired guards, and scoured every village. But 6 months passed, and her daughter was never found. Broken by grief, the queen's health deteriorated until she finally passed away from sorrow. The king was left in a palace full of silence and shadows. One day, overcome with guilt, he returned to the mirror, begging for his daughter back. But the mirror, now cold and stern, replied, "You gave her to me of your own will. I kept my promise. The kingdom is yours." Devastated, he returned to find the palace in mourning. His beloved queen was gone. Though he now ruled the entire kingdom, he was consumed by regret and sorrow. Years later, an old woman passing through the forest heard the faint cry of a child. She followed the sound to find a beautiful little girl wearing a golden necklace, magically bound to a giant mirror. The mirror was feeding off her energy. But the old woman carried an ancient wooden charm known to repel evil spirits. As she approached, the mirror shrieked and recoiled, eventually casting the child away to avoid the relic's power. The old woman took the girl and raised her in a small wooden cottage, nurturing her with love. Years passed, and Liza grew into a graceful and kind young woman. Before the old woman passed away, she gave Liza the golden necklace and said, "This will guide you to your past. Go find your family." Liza, heartbroken by the loss of the only mother she'd known, set off to find her origins. When she entered the city, the people were struck by how closely she resembled the late queen. They recognized the royal markings on her necklace and immediately informed the king. By now, the king was an old, broken man, crippled by grief and guilt. When he saw Liza, he embraced her and wept, begging for forgiveness. Liza didn't recognize him, but she had learned to respect the elderly and to have compassion. She forgave him and stayed by his side, caring for him in his final years. Eventually, Lisa became queen, ruling with love and wisdom, just as her mother once did, bringing light and justice back to a kingdom long overshadowed by sorrow. Moral of the story: true power lies not in what you possess, but in how you use it. Greed, jealousy, and fear of loss can blind even the kindest heart, leading to choices that cannot be undone. But love, forgiveness, and humility have the power to heal, restore, and transform even the darkest fate. In the end, what we give from the heart returns to us, sometimes in the most unexpected ways.